Hi painting pals! Welcome back to Mandy's Minis, where we put big creativity into miniature scale. You know what we're going to do today because you read the thumbnail. Otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on my video. Grab your brushes and let's get creative. Yep. More paint. But this is not your typical acrylic miniature paint. So even though I don't need more paint, we're going to try it out. So these are acrylic gouache. Alexa, what is acrylic gouache?
From wetcanvas.com, gouache is a watercolor made with gum arabic and pigment mixed with chalk, which gives an opaque velvet-like final look.
Alright, so now that we know that, Alexa, what is the difference between acrylic paint and acrylic gouache?
The difference between the two is in their consistency and drying time. Acrylic paint is faster drying and has a smoother texture, while acrylic gouache has a grainier texture and dries slower. Both are used for painting, but gouache is preferred by some artists for its thicker consistency and ability to create a range of colors.
So let's try it out and see if that does any good on miniatures. As you can see, it's not even opened, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. And if you've watched any of my other unboxing videos, there aren't many. I'm terrible at it. This is a big box. Okay. So, I have never used these. I have never used any gouache, and I don't even know how to use them. But, we've got these nice big artist's tubes. So, I'm kind of hoping these will be the medium between acrylic paint, which dries really quickly unless you use drying retarder, which I have and never remember to use, and oil paints, which again I have and I don't use because they take forever to dry. And especially if I'm doing a commission, I've got to get that out into the mail. I can't wait a week for it to dry. Maybe this will be the answer to that. Then again, maybe it'll just be a disaster. Who knows? Alexa, does acrylic gouache work best on a wet palette or dry palette?
Acrylic gouache can be applied best on both a wet or dry palette. However, it is recommended to use a wet palette to help thin out the paint for a smoother application.
Wet palette it is. Time to get some Crydroofy paper. And the cool thing is, I've got this awesome Conan the Barbarian. Yes, I know who he is, even though I don't actually know the movies. Don't hate me, please. I have a very good reason, and that would be my extreme fear of snakes. I have some great colors here. I have no idea what I have, so we're really going to have fun. Now, one thing she did say that I particularly am going to take to heart is the fact that they are good for mixing. I absolutely love mixing colors. Start with my skin tones. I've decided I'm going to start with a Mars Brown, and then I'm going to mix up some colors with light apricot, pastel yellow, and rose madder to get some interesting skin tones. Oh! A lot comes out at once. And I'm also going to take that thinning to heart. So I want to make sure that I end up with a lot of water on my brush, because she also said in the description that it was going to be very textured. And especially this model has a lot of texture already sculpted into it, which is one of the things I really like about it. So initial feel, actually, just getting the paint on the brush, it feels a lot like my scale 75. I don't think I'm going to have too much trouble or surprise. So I do have to say, the gouache is going on very smooth. It actually feels smoother than acrylic paint. I definitely needed 2 coats, just like I normally do with regular acrylics. So that's not really a surprise. And the one thing I am noticing and that I have to be a little more careful of is leaving brush stroke. Obviously we don't want to see any brush stroke, so you can pull up paint if you keep playing with it too much, so just like acrylic. The only problem is slower drying time, so I have a feeling I'm going to be running into that a lot more because I'm used to my paint being dry by now. This is turning into a miserable experience. I hate it. I don't necessarily hate the gouache. This process is so different from my own that it is really not good. And it is not coming out the way I want it to. And I have learned that what gouache is really good at is blending. But they actually work more like oils. You kind of got to keep working that same area to get all your blends and then keep going. So I'm finding it a lot more difficult than I expected. I'm actually wondering if this would be better as a supplement to acrylic painting than actually being its own fantastic medium, at least for me and my painting style. But we're going to keep pushing through and see what happens, and I'll check back in a little bit and let you know where I'm at that point, and if I've gotten any better or if I'm going to change strategies. So I put the camera down to do a little bit more because I just wanted to see where my time was best spent. I'm actually getting there. Slowly but surely, I think I'm just getting lost in the ugly phase, which is new for me. Normally, I can actually see right past the ugly phase when I'm painting acrylics because I know what it's going to be in the end. I added a little Prussian blue to his jawline to kind of represent some stubble going there. Heard of Prussian blue? It's a typical artist paint or artist color, but I'm still not familiar with how it actually is going to look on the model. Like I know all of my Reaper colors and scale 75 colors and so forth. So it's kind of an interesting little journey here, trying to get it all sorted and figured out. It's okay from afar, but once you get up close, oh, which I can't show you guys here yet. Once you get up close, it's a big mess. And should anyone be out there who knows how to use gouache better than I do, which is like anyone who uses gouache ever, let me know. What am I doing wrong? What should I be doing a little bit differently to get better results? I've learned two new things. For one thing, I'm overthinking the differences. If I just get over that and paint, it's not that bad. Second thing is, I don't know these color names, and going by the colors in the tubes is not always giving me the results that I want. So, for example, I am now adding a little more of a different yellow into the skin, because the pale yellow that I had selected is actually desaturating it, and that's the opposite of what I wanted it to do. So we're getting a little bit closer. I am about halfway done with the skin tone at this point, and I am loving it. It is the exact blend of oils and acrylic that I was hoping it would be once I finally got used to using them. So I am really happy with how this is turning out. It is not the perfectly smooth skin tone that I've been working on for the last year or so, but it looks really sharp, and I am actually really kind of happy with it, and it fits more the barbarian style anyway. So I'm going to keep going, and we'll see how it turns out. You can see how nicely these colors just blend together as I'm doing it. It's almost easier to blend on the model than it is to blend the colors in the wet palette, which really makes me worried about the fact that he's still not looking to what I'd call good, at least not up close. But sometimes we do that. We overthink and we worry and we panic, and then we end up not trusting the process and going, yeah, that just doesn't work, when we didn't actually give it the full chance it was supposed to have. So I'm still trying to push through and give this the chance that it's supposed to have. And it's kind of a neat thing, being able to blend and go right from shadows into highlights in one section and really get that one section looking kind of nice. Because normally we have to layer up and do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. I'm calling the skin tone done. From here, I think I'm going to test out that idea of seeing how it works for just using it for blending only, and that as its own medium. Wrapping up here, my final thoughts. Yes, gouache is really good for blending. So if that's something you have trouble with, you may want to look into purchasing some. I probably won't do any more videos on gouache since I know most of you won't be buying it. But if you are interested, let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think. Also, I'm very excited to announce that I will be teaching a painting class in person. So if you're in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area and you want to sign up, it'll be at Leaping Panda and you can register on their website. This will be June 1st from 1 to 3 and we will be recording it for Patreon. So if you are interested in checking that out, you can visit Patreon at the link below. And while you're down there, give us a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, have fun and keep creating.